All right, so this iodoform test that I'm referring to, it was added in syllabus from A2 a few years back. तो अब इससे क्वेश्चन कुछ आ रहे हैं छोटे छोटे, लेकिन we have never had a big question in structured paper so from this. इसलिए इनको मैं end पे पढ़ाता हूँ कि you should know कि इनमें से full-fledged proper question is expected. Iodoform test का आप कुछ details लिख लें, that it's a test which is used to confirm certain arrangements. So it helps to confirm following groups, or these groups rather, I would write. These groups or arrangements कह लें कि अगर किसी compound में इन दोनों arrangement में से कोई एक present है और both of them are present, तो that compound would give a positive iodoform test. That is this and or this CH3 C double bond O. Yeah. So if any compound has this arrangement present in it or this arrangement, then that compound will give a positive iodoform test. Like you could see that this is a secondary alcohol arrangement, CHOH ke saath CH3, and this arrangement is present typically in ketones and aldehydes, etc. So if a compound has one of these two arrangements, then it would give a positive iodoform test. The reagent that we use in the iodoform test is alkaline iodine solution. Alkaline iodine. That is the reagent. And the observation in this reaction would be yellow pipette of CHI3. CHI3 is like iodoform, triiodomethane. So this is something that I'll keep written on the screen. So इसलिए इसको मैं side पे लिख रहा हूँ. Of examples में I'll sort of tell you how the questions are placed. So iodoform test को हम triiodomethane test भी कहते हैं, because इसमें we get this CHI3 which is triiodomethane, and it helps us to confirm this or this arrangement in a compound. And the reagent of this test is this alkaline iodine solution, like iodine mixed with NaOH, and the observation would be like yellow pipetties of CHI3. अब examples इसके आप समझेंगे. You see, what happens is typically they give you 2-3 compounds in the question and they say whether it would give a positive iodoform test or not. उसमें से आपको pick करके बताना होता है. Let's say if I have this alcohol, that's 2-butanol, and we put it in iodine and NaOH, like iodoform का reagent है, alkaline iodine, and we heat it slightly. So when we see this arrangement present in this compound, like ये वाली जो ऊपर मैंने mark की हुई है, CH3 CHOH, I could see that here. So I would say this compound will give a positive iodoform test. It's like CH के एक side पे methyl group must है, CH3. So when you're asked to show the products, which is a very rare question कि what do we get product में, उसका product भी मैं आपको बता देता हूँ, but you need to focus on the fact कि whether it will give a positive test or not. तो आपने जब इसका reaction दिखाना है तो उसमें we don't show the complete equation but the only organic product. So this bond will break, the CH3 will turn into iodoform, ये बन जाएगा CHI3, and this carbon will turn into carboxylic acid salt. Carboxylic acid salt. Like ये bond आपने break कर दिया, ये वाला CH3 को you turn it into CHI3, which is the organic byproduct, and this carbon here that turns to carboxylic acid salt. बाकी ये जो chain है इसके साथ आएगी. So I'll write it like CH3, CH2, and then this carbon turned into carboxylic acid salt, that's like COONA. So if you're supposed to show the product, so you should know okay, triiodomethane, that is CHI3, which makes yellow PPT, and this organic salt is formed in the reaction. So अभी जो मैंने explain किया so far, I'll explain that once again. Iodoform test, it helps us to confirm the presence of the CH3s, these two arrangements. Like अगर किसी compound में ये वाली arrangement present है, that's a secondary alcohol with methyl on one side, or this arrangement. So वो फिर that will give a positive iodoform test. The reagents of this test include iodine, alkaline medium में, and the observation are like triiodomethane, CHI3, which makes the yellow PPT. Or example, may I've just shown this reaction where this butanol, 2-butanol was reacted with iodine alkaline solution. And I saw this arrangement present in it, ऊपर वाली present है. So I'll say it's positive test. अब product अगर बनाना पड़ेगा तो आपने करना ये है कि जो methyl group है, you turn it into CHI3, and this carbon where OH is present, you turn it into carboxylic acid salt, COONA. All the oxygen and hydrogens will come from the medium. We don't need balancing of this equation. So yellow PPT are of the CHI3. तो अब एक और एग्जांपल मैं आपको बताता हूँ in which we have this arrangement. उसका भी same reaction, product same होंगे, यही salt और ये बनेगा, but obviously a different compound. इसको आप notes जरूर इसके लिखें, because these are the reactions which I don't want to share the PDFs of. क्योंकि जो PDF notes है ना, वो फिर sometimes students उनको print नहीं लेते proper detail में, या they forget where to put them. So this is perhaps the last organic reaction, तो इसको आप अपने notes में लिखें हाथ से, so that it stays safe in your notes and you could actually revise it when you need. Now let's do another example. Okay, so let's say if we have another compound which has this arrangement present in it, that's like say CH3, CH2, C double bond O, and CH3. And if I make it react with again alkaline iodine solution, which is the reagent for the iodoform test, so iodine slash NaOH, it could be any strong base, and heat. Now, if you're asked whether this compound will give a positive iodoform test, तो आपने देखना ये है कि does it have one of these two arrangements present in it? So I could see the second arrangement in it, that is like CH3 C double bond O. ये मुझे इसमें नजर आ रही है, there it is, see, CH3 C double bond O. So when I see this arrangement present or this arrangement present, I would say this compound gives positive iodoform test. अब उसके बाद उसका प्रोडक्ट जो बनाना है, जो मैंने अभी लास्ट एग्जांपल में बताया था, उसमें आपने करना ये है कि you break this CH3 C double bond O bond, ये break करके you turn this CH3 into iodoform, and this carbon will turn into carboxylic acid salt. So let's write the shorter compound first. CH3 को मैं क्या बनाऊंगा? CHI3. CHI3, which is solid and makes the yellow PPT. Whereas this carbon here turns to carboxylic acid salt. So this chain will come along with it. So it would be like CH3, CH2, and then this carbon turns to carboxylic acid salt, COON. So when I see yellow PPT, I would say that this compound has like one of these two arrangements, this or this. Which one is it? We don't know. Uske liye we have different tests. Like वो alcohol है, तो it would be oxidized. If it's ketone, तो it won't be oxidized. So this is like iodoform test, which help us to confirm one of these two arrangements in the compound. The reagents of this test are alkaline iodine, and the yellow PPTs confirm the presence of CHI3. So I'll write one more example. I'm seeing कि कुछ students थोड़ा late join कर रहे हैं, but I understand it's like a bit early perhaps in the morning. So I'll share the recording of this topic. A new concept added in syllabus, very important from A2, and you should expect questions from this. And perhaps it's like the last reaction of organic as well. अच्छा, अब let's try. अगर कोई notes नहीं लिख पा रहा, I mean, if I'm erasing it before you copy, you don't need to panic. I'll share the recording later. You can watch it and obviously can take notes once again. Okay, so let's say we have this compound and you're asked whether it will give a positive iodoform test or not. So again, you need to scan that compound for one of these two arrangements. If you see one of these two, only then it will give a positive test. Although I see this CHOH here, ये वाला, but I don't see a methyl group directly attached to it. Like इसके side पे भी CH2 है, इस side पे भी CH2 है, methyls are further away. So this compound will give no positive test, negative test, like no yellow pipetties or nothing. So this is all your asked questions typically in MCQs, like which of the following can or cannot give a positive iodoform test. So if it is can, तो only one option will have one of these two arrangements, and cannot है तो फिर तीन में ये होंगी arrangements और एक में नहीं होंगी. And one very important thing that I'll add here, although it's not mentioned in the syllabus or books, that carboxylic acids and esters, they don't give a positive iodoform test. उसकी reason भी मैं इधर लिख देता हूँ और पहले आप इसको note भी कर लें. That is carboxylic acids and esters do not give a positive iodoform test. And the reason for that is that even if you see this arrangement present in a carboxylic acid like CH3COOH, अब आप देखें ethanoic acid, ethanoic acid apparently has this CH3CO which matches to this. इसमें present है, but the thing is that the reagents of iodoform test include iodine and aqueous and like NaOH solution, right? तो होगा क्या कि before iodine would break that methyl off, this base will react with this to make salt already. So the base in the medium reacts with the carboxylic acid before it undergoes iodoform change and all, and no yellow PPT or nothing is formed. So methyl group उतरता नहीं है वहां से, yellow PPT नहीं बनते. So carboxylic acids and even esters get hydrolyzed when you put them in NaOH and heat it. So they rather react with the base in the medium rather than reacting with the iodine. So in short, carboxylic acids and esters do not give a positive iodoform test. अब ये एक reaction है which I really wanted to explain in detail in the start. So like I'm done with it. Again, मैंने class के start में पूछा था if someone could tell me कि if I've done a reduction of carboxylic acids with you, तो मुझे बता दें देख के, क्योंकि वो भी नया रिएक्शन है. I don't want कि वो मिस हो जाए. Face to face class में तो I can check and tell myself even notes में. Anyone? Like on the last 2-3 pages, if you find reduction of carboxylic acid, which makes alcohols, carboxylic acid के reaction में शायद होगा.
No, sir.
Sure.
Their
Carbo-
last reaction was the reaction with metals of carboxylic acid.
Yeah, like that was perhaps I done that in the flow chart, my like circle and all the reactions with carbonates, metal oxides, वो सारे लिखे थे, right? Anyone else? Shiza, Noor, आप लोग देखें बेटा notes में बताएं.
नो सर, it was just acidification और हमने एक वो लिखा था सिर्फ, एक
So
इक्वेशन लिखी थी.
with metals,
Yes sir.
well, I don't know why. I feel like I've done reaction of ethanoic acid with metal oxide base and carbonates too. But चलें अगर नहीं किया तो वो भी कर लेते हैं. And then obviously if you're saying reduction was not there even, so let's first do that reduction of carboxylic acids. That this one is like a new reaction, easy one but very important obviously. So the reduction of carboxylic acids actually lead to formation of alcohols, primary alcohols rather. So carboxylic acid on reduction, and for reduction we use this lithium aluminum hydride, LiLH4. It makes primary alcohol. That's the general reaction for it. Like wherever you see this carboxylic acid C double bond O, you turn it into alcohol. For example, if we have the CH3 C double bond O, OH, and you treat it with the reducing agent like LiLH4, we heat it slightly. So what you need to do here is that take away this oxygen and make it react with all these hydrogens coming from the reducing agent. So this oxygen with these hydrogens will go and make water, H2O byproduct. And when this oxygen is lost from the carbon, you would see that carbon has two free bonds on it. Now these two free bonds, this hydrogen would come and add, and that will make it CH2. So we get it like CH3, the next carbon turns to CH2. The OH is already there, so that makes it a primary alcohol. The alcohol with the OH has two hydrogens on it, like carbon with the OH has two hydrogens on it. तो आपने इसमें करना कुछ भी नहीं है. जो carboxylic acid का C double bond O है, every time you remove it in water and just they put two hydrogens on this carbon. So reduction is like gain of hydrogen or loss of oxygen. So both are happening here. Like this carboxylic acid is losing oxygen as well, and it's getting these hydrogens added on it. So whenever you see a carboxylic acid in a compound, you turn it into OH, alcohol. I mean OH will already be there, but इस carbon को जो C double bond वाला carbon है, इसको आपने CH2 बना देना है. So this would also turn into C carbons are like 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon का alcohol आप बना दो इसको. OH here and OH here also. Plus water as a byproduct, and remember reduction, oxidation, and all these equations, hydrolysis, etc. You don't need to really worry about balancing of all these, although all the hydrogens you see come from the reducing agent. So this is that reaction I was referring to, reduction of carboxylic acid that makes primary alcohol. So it's a new concept. Past पुराने papers में they never asked reduction of carboxylic acid. But even if there was some concept in very old papers, like not very old, like 2, 3, 4 years old papers, usme you might see that carboxylic acid don't get reduced because this concept was not in the syllabus. So ab syllabus mein hai, now you need to understand and remember that carboxylic acid get reduced into primary alcohol every time. ये reaction. अब since you are saying कि हमने सिर्फ carboxylic acid का metal oxide से reaction किया हुआ है, इसमें base और carbonates के साथ भी equations हम add कर लेते हैं. So they're like from IGCSE. I'm sure कि आप लोगों को याद है, when you react a carboxylic acid with a carbonate, we get these CO2 gas effervescence and all. So to write that, I'll be using this space. So in carboxylic acid, if you could add again reaction of carboxylic acids with, I mean, We could make it with metal oxide. Will not make it too lengthy with metal oxide, and then after this with the base and carbonate. So if you react carboxylic acid like ethanoic acid with the metal oxide, like Na2O, so this will actually replace hydrogen with the sodium, and that turns it into CH3COONA salt plus water. Any acid reacts with metal oxide to make salt and water, sodium ethanoate. And if you wish to balance it, you can put 2 and 2 here. And then carboxylic acids could react with base or alkalis. Again, we get salt water. So if I keep carboxylic acid similar every time, and base is say KOH, potassium hydroxide, could be any strong base even. All these reactions are at room temperature, so you just replace this hydrogen with the metal. That will make potassium ethanoate plus H2O. And the last one is with carbonates, and that's rather the most important reaction here. Because when you react an acid with carbonate, we get CO2 gas, and that makes or gives the effervescence. So let's say this CH3COOH again reacts with the salt carbonate, sodium carbonate. So you get salt, CH3CONA. Beside this, we get CO2 and water. So you get lots of CO2 gas bubbles, and that comes out as effervescence. And this helps to conform carboxylic acid. This effervescence confirms carboxylic acid. In fact, no other organic compound reacts with carbonates. तो अगर आपसे पूछा जाए कि how do you confirm presence of carboxylic acid in a compound, then this is the reaction that is with the carbonate salt. And how do we know it's carboxylic acid? This gas formed effervescence that confirms presence of carboxylic acid functional group. तो ये तीनों equations आप note कर लें. I thought initially we have done this, लेकिन since it's not in the notes now, I remember perhaps मैंने metal से कराया था जिसमें salt and hydrogen gas is formed. तो ये उसके साथ ऐड कर लें या आइडोफॉर्म के बाद ही लिख लें, कोई मसला नहीं. And this technically completes the entire organic chemistry. अब इसके बाद like the inorganic PDFs I shared, अगर आप लोगों ने recording देखी है sequence में, तो I hope के you won't find that difficult, but I mean next 2-3 classes I'll go through that, like all those reactions of group 2, group 3, group 7 and third period. तो फिर ये एक टॉपिक है mass spectro का और hybridization वगैरह. तो ये चीजें हैं जो I'm planning to complete all this. Like I thought कि पहले शायद आपकी Thursday से classes, is it so कि आपकी face to face classes Thursday से start हो रही? Anyone could tell me?